Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the Thursday edition. Yeah, I know. I'm just as surprised as you are. I remember telling you guys on Saturday that there was going to be no Thursday show. So, believe me, I'm just as surprised as you guys are that I had time to do this today. But anyway, welcome to the Thursday show, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, you did read the title right. This is the Whitfield Report Thursday edition, graduation day, because I am graduating from the State College of Florida. Today is my graduation ceremony. I'll be having it at 7 p.m. Well, I won't say where. Do I really want to dox myself like that? No, I do not. I'm not at the school anymore, so, I don't really care if you guys know where my alma mater is or not anymore. One of my alma maters. That's the interesting thing. I'm done with the state college, but I'm not done with college yet in its entirety either. I'm going to USF, so go Bulls. I'll be starting there next semester. Anyway, though, I've got a few thoughts on graduation, just college in general, and some other ramblings. As you guys know, the Thursday edition of the show is audio exclusive, unlike the Saturday show when I do the live stream. But the Thursday show is just for you podcast subscribers out there. So we're gonna have a good show. I'm gonna go off on a couple of rants about college and about graduation ceremonies, because I do have a few about those. So it'll be a fun time today. But first things first, let's hear about our sponsor and make some money for the show. Okay, let's go do that. Alrighty, folks, just starting off this episode, I want to take a few moments to give a shout out to other podcast hosts using Anchor and their podcasts. I rarely ever do this, but I'm feeling good today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling extra generous and extra nice. So I want to give a shout out to Bubba McComb, aka Sad Boy Shinobi. Love that nickname, by the way. And he is the host of I'm subscribed to so many podcasts, I'm gonna have to look it up. He is the host of the Hella Tired podcast. Yeah, that's his podcast. So Bubba McComb, aka Sad Boy Shinobi, is a comedian out of Arizona, and he does this hilarious podcast called the Hella Tired podcast, where he interviews other comedians. And most of you are saying, well, Sam, he sounds a guy like Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan and a bunch of these other comedians. And I mean, yeah, he does the same style of genre. He does the same style of genre show as I do, where it's, comedy and current events and just long form conversations. But he's really, really good. He and I have been in touch, and we're going to do a show together maybe before the end of the year. I don't know. I'm certainly hoping so, because he's just awesome. So go check out his podcast. Also, big shout out to Robert John Boyle, host of the Robert John Boyle podcast on Anchor. He's also a college kid, just like I am. I think he may be like a year or two younger than I am. He does much shorter podcasts, only like 5 or 10 minutes, but he does them every freaking day, and they're really good as well. So I just want to give a shout out to those two specific Anchor independent podcasters because they're awesome. They've been helping to promote this show. So I figured I would just give them a little love and shout out their shows. So, you're welcome, boys, and thank you for helping me out as well. So, graduation day. It's been crazy this past semester. It's been crazy this year in 2018. I just, as I said a few weeks ago on the show, I feel as if 2018 dragged along while simultaneously just flying by. The crazy thing is I was only going for an associate's degree at my school, but it took me 2.5 years, almost 3 years to accomplish that. And, that might not seem like a long time, but for me, it certainly felt like a long time. It felt like an eternity. And then having to run back and forth between, the school I was at and USF just to, drop off paperwork to transfer over. It was harder than getting I wouldn't say it was harder, but it was pretty darn close to getting a driver's license from the DMV, just in terms of how just time consuming and how much bureaucracy it was for me to do that. And, even though I've lived here in Florida for 6 years, I also had to get proof of residency for the state of Florida and do all that. That was a major, pain in the butt, to do, pain in the ass. But that got squared away. It just seems like it seems like it's really hard, not so much in terms of grades and whatnot to get into a school anymore, but just the sheer volume of paperwork that you have to do to get into a school. First they require transcripts, obviously, because they're going to look at those. But then they also need things like, your if you've taken any dual enrollment credits in high school. That was the other thing I had to deal with too. So 6 years ago when I graduated high school, I had taken a dual enrollment course my senior year of high school, and I was part of DECA, which is a business organization. It's basically like a national business curriculum that is taught in high schools throughout the country. And I was part of that in high school. And they also gave dual enrollment credit through my high school at one of the colleges in Colorado. So I took that class my senior year of high school, got the dual enrollment credit, but it wouldn't transfer over to the state college of Florida where I was at. So so it sat there for 6 years, and it's been a while since I've been in high school. Like I said, it's been 6 years. So when I was applying to USF, they had asked me if I had taken any dual enrollment courses in high school, and I said yes. But this is one of those funny things. They always say that memory is not always accurate, that you can't always rely on a person's memory because after a while things start to change. And this was definitely true in my case because I said that I had gone to one school in Denver for the dual enrollment. I had gone, to one through one community college in Denver that that's popular. So I thought that was what it was for, but it actually turned out to be another community college, and the paperwork and trying to straighten that out, like you would have thought I would have just been able to say, "Oh, whoops, sorry, I made a mistake. Here's the correction." But nope, I actually had to write to the school that I made the mistake of selecting as the dual enrollment college, and sending them a letter saying, "Hey, can you guys send a letter to USF saying that I was never enrolled here?" I actually had to do that. I actually had to write them a letter, send it in an email, and then have them mail a physical letter to the college just to verify that I had never gone to this certain community college in Denver. And I guess it's actually fairly common that they have to do that. Because when I asked, they were like, "Oh yeah, we do that all the time." So it just goes to show that memory is not always reliable, especially, coming from your teenage years and whatnot. And I can't imagine, I'm 23 now. I can't imagine it gets any better. I'm sure I'll forget stuff about State College here soon enough. Heck, sometimes, folks, it's even hard for me to remember podcast episodes I've done from 3 months ago, just because time moves so dang fast. So we got the paperwork squared away with the transfer, which that was the hardest obstacle to get through. Then we got my residency papers sent to them. Then we got the immunization form, which was good. And finally we got my transcript over there. So everything turned out good, and I am going to USF. It just took a while for us to get everything over there. So, and then in the midst of that, I had final exams, and I had final exams on Tuesday. I had a holiday party yesterday, and then I'm graduating tonight. Well, and then I had the podcast, on Saturday as always, and now I'm doing this little Thursday rant podcast, as it were. So, now, as many of you guys know, I have a physical disability and I'm in a wheelchair. The reason why I bring that up is for my graduation ceremony tonight, I have to be there at the event by 5 to do a I shouldn't really call it a walkthrough because obviously I can't walk, but I guess a roll through in my case would be the appropriate word. I'm supposed to be able to do a roll through because they're going to take me up a wheelchair ramp onto the stage and whatnot to do the ceremony. So we're going to do a dry run of that at 5. Then I may grab some dinner right before the ceremony. Ceremony starts at 7 and goes until 9. Originally I thought it was supposed to go until 10 because the school sent out a bunch of confusing emails too. Initially, they said that graduation was supposed to be on Thursday at the very beginning of the semester when they were scheduling graduation. They said it was going to be on Thursday. December 13th, which is today. Then, like around Halloween, they changed it to Friday the day after, and then they said it was supposed to be on Thursday again, so here we are now. And, so that's more confusion that got squared away. So we have the ceremony from 7 to 9 tonight, and, then I'll be on break finally. Then I can attend to the podcast. I will say this. 7 to 9, though, I mean, maybe it's just me, but that seems a little long for a ceremony, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of the ceremony is just like stuff like the president getting up and speaking, the president of the college getting up and speaking, which, okay, that's to be expected, right? But then, like, we have a whole performance by the school band, which I'm sure is really good. But for the love of God, folks, I just want to, get my diploma and get up on stage and graduate along with everyone else. I don't really, again, I'm sure it's good, but I don't really care about the musical performance that much. The thing that I guess does kind of annoy me, though, and this has kind of been a pet peeve of mine for the past few years, is these speeches from the class valedictorians. Okay, and the reason why they annoy me so much is their speeches from students who pretty much went through the same, stuff that through the same program that you might have, but they just excelled mostly in their grades. And some people are like, oh, well, Sam, you're just being petty, and maybe just a little bit, but I don't really get why that deserves like a whole 12-minute speech or whatever. Some of them have gone on for 15 or 20 minutes. I know that, like, the valedictorian at my high school, the two valedictorians at my high school had 20-minute speeches, each about their whole academic experience. And that was back in high school. And the irony later on, and I guess this is the other reason why valedictorian speeches kind of annoy me too, and I guess this is going to be like my big rant of the show, so to speak, is about the valedictorian speeches. The reason why I guess I find them a little annoying is, at least from what I know, at least one of the valedictorian kids from my high school, once this individual got to college, I know that they started smoking weed, and not that there's anything wrong with inherently smoking weed, but they basically ended up partying their way through college, and I think this individual may have actually had to drop out because their GPA was too low or something like it. Like, they weren't going to make it through college. Anyway, so it just goes to show that just because you got valedictorian in high school, or just because you got valedictorian at a junior college, it doesn't really mean much in the end unless you continue the solid work in your education or in your career or whatnot. And no one is really going to remember the speech that you gave in high school or in college later on. Like, all I remember from the high school speech is that they gave a speech, and that's it. So I don't know. It just seems like that's tacking on extra time to the ceremony that could be used to get us up there and graduated and out the doors with our diplomas or our certificates. So I don't know though. That's just me being me, and I'm proud of them for sure. I'm proud of all of us. I'm not trying to be like a real disingenuous dick. I don't know. It just seems like the speeches are a little ridiculous. That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. Don't get your panties in a bunch collectively if I've offended you or whatnot, or do whatever. So now I've got all this time off, and time to celebrate, time to enjoy the holidays, folks. As I said, I'm going to try recording a few shows for the before Christmas officially kicks off. And I'm going to be planning things out more for 2019 for the show as well. So, yeah, folks, it's been a good year for the podcast. I must say that too. We got moved over to Anchor here in I think it was March. That was when I moved the Whitfield Report from Tape Right over to Anchor, which was a much better move. And now we have sponsors and contributors, which I really do appreciate, ladies and gentlemen. I really, really do. Seriously, I mean, just the fact that I'm getting 32 listens per episode per week is really, really, really rewarding. And I don't even, obviously I love the fact that I'm getting some sponsorship money now from the ads we've been playing more towards the beginning of the show, and I love the fact that we have some very generous contributors to the show, whether it's via Patreon or via the Anchor listener support. I really do genuinely appreciate that. But sorry about that. It got cut off there for a sec. As I was saying, though, regardless, folks, I would still be doing this podcast for free, whether or not I got sponsors or not, because, I've been podcasting for 10 years and I've mainly been doing this for free. So, trust me when I say I'm very grateful for the support of our patrons and listeners here at the Whitfield Report. All of you who download the podcast and share it with your friends and family and relatives and even associates. And you guys who are running the show, you guys really mean the world to me. And as long as you guys keep downloading, I will for sure keep producing podcasts. I love this medium. I've loved this medium ever since I discovered it back in 2007 as a listener. A year later in 2008, I started podcasting when no one knew what podcasting was. And just to watch the medium grow and change, and Anchor is just phenomenal in and of itself as a hosting platform. I've really got to give credit to the team that helps distribute this show as well. Could not do this without them now. It's just awesome, folks. So yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a tiring week. It's been a good year. It's been a good semester, but a tiring semester. So, what can I say, folks? I'm a blessed man, and I'm just really glad that things this year have turned out well all the way around. Really, there's not much more else a man could ask for other than, awesome friends, awesome family who I just want to take a moment to publicly thank my friends and my family, my mom and my dad, for supporting me through college and helping me with college, and also for helping to support me with my podcast. Even my dad, who might not have always understood my passion for podcasting, but still supports me anyway, in his own way. I really appreciate that. To all my friends who have gone way back with me, and even to the friends who I've met through the podcast, and to some of those people who have written to me and who tweet at me and interact with me. You guys mean the world to me as well. As far as listeners go, you guys are the best. Like I said, I could not do this show without you guys. So it means a lot. And this episode is as much a celebration of you guys helping me get here as much as it is just me celebrating my accomplishment. So, anyway, folks, what can I say? I'm an extremely blessed man. So, I think that'll just about do it for the Thursday show. I know it's not a full hour, like I usually do, but, these full shows never are. These Thursday shows never are like full-blown shows, but I'll be back on Saturday for sure, and then Sunday for the American Watchmen Roundtable. And yeah, I think that'll just about do it for, Thursday. Just checking in on you, saying hi, and hope all is well. So, thanks for tuning in. And as always, folks, if you like the show and you feel like you can maybe support the show, please feel free to go on over to anchor.fm/Whitfield Report and click on that support the show button. It really helps me out. Or you can just tap on the link if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts or one of those, podcast apps. The link is in the description below. So I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you checking out the show's sponsor. And folks, I'll see you Saturday. And until then, have a good rest of your week. God bless and God save this great nation. Hey folks, if you're still listening to the podcast, congratulations. You've made it all the way to the end. And if you've made it this far, you're certainly a loyal listener, and I would like to just remind folks that you can go to anchor.fm/Whitfield Report and please consider becoming a financial backer of this show. For either $1, $5, or $10 a month, you can help give extra support for the show so that I can purchase supplies and pay for items to keep improving the quality of this show. I do have sponsors now, ladies and gentlemen, but as always, the extra support from the listeners really helps. So if you are so inclined, please go to anchor.fm/Whitfield Report and please continue supporting the show. Also, please continue sharing the podcast with your friends and family and coworkers, and please consider rating this show 5 stars on iTunes and leaving a nice review. We really appreciate it, and your loyalty is really appreciated. Have a good rest of your day or week or wherever you're listening in the past, present, future hour, and I'll see you next episode on the Whitfield Report.